Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Welcome back from Fox News. Trump, with spate of 2022 endorsements, goes where no former president has gone before. Trump, the GOP kingmaker, has endorsed nearly 40 Republicans running in races this year and next year. Sorry about the two toilets there. I'm kind of torn between what this gentleman wrote, but let's read on. I think that Trump has a huge role to play in the Republican Party, which is really interesting because he was a Democrat most of his life. But he's a populist Republican, which is extremely rare. And I think the direction the Republican Party is going, the Mitch McConnells, the Mitt Romneys, the Lindsey Grahams, you go through the list, it's endless. Even the Paul Ryan, the former speaker, the list is endless of just milquetoast. No, just slow down, Democrats. That was their strategy for years, is, you know, we might be the greatest in the world, but look how bad the Democrats suck. That's been their strategy for decades. The only one that broke that mold was Newt Gingrich with his contract with America, and it worked brilliantly. Let's read on. Former President Trump's endorsement is hands down the most sought after in the Republican Party, and Trump isn't disappointing. The former president, 8 months removed from the White House, remains extremely popular and influential with Republican voters and politicians as he aims to continue playing kingmaker in the GOP. And as Trump repeatedly flirts with another White House run in 2024, thanks to a spate of recent endorsements, he's now backed nearly 40 Republicans running in elections this year and next year, from statewide races such as senator and governor to down-ballot contests. It's uncharted waters for a former president to remain so immensely involved in party politics, but Trump's no normal formal president. Yeah, that's why he got elected. He's not the mold of the just crank him out like cookie cutters we've seen in the past. Once again, former President Trump is proving to march to the beat of his own drum. Veteran political scientist Wayne Lesperance said, the vice president of academic affairs at New England College said a number of Trump's endorsements so far this year are unheard of in recent political memory. Now, in all fairness, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be right up front. I am a huge Trump supporter, still am. If he ran again and won, I think there would be a tremendous shot for the country. Whether you like the guy or not. And to say, well, he's better than Biden is falling on the old Republican trap. He had a list of things he wanted to do. And then he started to do them, which really pissed off everybody, which is a mystery to me. Because they all said, well, you know, these guys make all these promises and then they never do it. Well, he tried to do it. They got mad at him. I'm like, you know, how many ways do you want it? The former president political endorsements come as the GOP aims to win back majorities in the House and the Senate in the 2020 midterms. Sometimes Trump endorsements are in sync with Republicans, sometimes they're not. So often bestowed on those Republicans who support him repeated and unfounded claims that the 2020 presidential election was rigged and stolen from him. Now, rigged isn't necessarily unlawful. Rigged isn't necessarily illegal. And I do have to say the Democrats nationwide, especially in a lot of the swing states, I got to give it to them. Even if there was no FRAUD, having them change registration laws, state house by state house, relaxing restrictions, I'm not saying that's against the law. I'm saying that's just all moving all the advantage your way, which everybody wants to do. But the biggest gift the Democrats got in 2020 was COVID. Let's not lie to ourselves. Regardless of circumstances, Trump backing carries an incredible amount of clout within the GOP. Trump's endorsement is the most powerful and sought-after endorsement in history of American politics. That's true. I'm not going to read every word here. You can read through if you want to. A key battleground state where the former president's weighed in the top contest with ballot year next year is Georgia, where Trump holds a rally on Saturday. My particular opinion, I think the old neocon, old establishment Republican Party really, really effed up in the special election in January. In January! And they couldn't get their people out. A lot of Republicans stayed home. They said, well, Trump's been screaming and hollering the whole thing was FRAUD. So a lot of Republicans said, you know, why should I bother to vote? It's rigged anyway. I don't know if there's some truth to that. There might be some. But to be honest with you, with Biden in the Oval, or going to be in the Oval at the time, House taken over by the Democrats or held onto by the Democrats, the Senate was up for grabs. If that's not motivation to get out, I don't know what it is. It was the old establishment candidate Republicans. And the Republicans usually would hold their nose and vote for him. This time, they said, we're not holding our nose, we're not voting. And I do have to say, in all honesty, I have to be fair. I saw both the rallies, and Trump went down for, what was her name, Loeffner. And I even forgot the other guy's name now. I'm having a senior moment. Both the Republicans, they're about as exciting as watching paint dry. In fairness, Trump came out and talked about himself for 95% of the time. All right, I get that part. He's got a big ego. It's part of his personality flaws. Okay. You know, deal with it. Some advisors in the Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell's orbited initially misgivings about former President endorsement of Walker, a Trump ally with a strong name ID in Georgia, but a first-time candidate who's untested and comes with baggage that would be useful by opponents. I guess he got some domestic violence / domestic things, in his past. I mean, about flipping a crucial state. Well, Mitch McConnell, where the hell was your strategy when you lost both seats in January? So you know what? I wish you well, sir. Sit down and shut up. Trump's already endorsed challengers take on 4 of the 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach him. Is this revenge? No, actually, I don't think so. I don't think so. Because in all fairness, especially the first impeachment, you had to be a cultist, a brainwashed drone, leftist progressive to vote for the first impeachment, honestly and truly. The second one, emotions were running high because of the so-called insurrection / riot / several hundred people acting stupid. There's no white supremacy. There's no takeover of the government. If they were insurgents, not one has been charged with insurgency by the DOJ. Let's read on. And Trump's backing former Alaska Commissioner Administration Kelly Tshibaka, I believe I pronounced her name right, who challenged longtime Senator Murkowski. It's funny. I can't understand how Murkowski hangs on. I believe her dad used to be governor or senator. I don't remember. But she manages to do it. She lost a Republican primary that one time and ran as a third party and won, even though she's a registered Republican. Some Republicans worry that Trump's backing of challengers against sitting Republicans he considers traitors come back to haunt him. Yeah, you want a guarantee in life? Honestly and truly, you want a guarantee we're all going to die. That's it. The rest of it is up for grabs. We've seen the circus come to town before, most memorably during the runoff for Kelly Loeffler, and Perdue. That's who it was. We watched how 99.9% of the festivities were centered around him talking about he was wrong in the election. All right. That's a fair criticism. That's a fair criticism. He was down there to help them win, and he spent most of his time talking about him. It's part of one of the first personality flaws. And nobody's perfect, believe me. Go through the candidates we've had in the past on both sides of the aisle. Nobody's perfect, not even close. Let's read on. Like I said, I'm going to read this whole thing. You can stop and read it if you want. While Trump's yet to take sides in the large and combustible GOP Senate primaries in Arizona, Ohio, and Missouri, The former president's endorsement in contested Senate primaries in states such as Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Alabama, along with Georgia, are not sitting well with some Republicans in those states and on Capitol Hill. In New Hampshire, where national Republicans are working hard to try and land Governor Chris Sununu to challenge Democrat Heidi Haspel. Yeah, I mean, New Hampshire's a really unique place. I'd love to see Sununu be in the U.S. Senate. Trump last week praised retired General Don Bolduc, the only declared Republican candidate in the race after Bolduc took aim at Joint Chiefs Milley's remarks. Like I said, it's a really long article, and I'm not going to read all of it. It's interesting. I think what it comes down to is this. Is Trump a positive or a negative force for the Republican Party? And more importantly, a positive or negative force for the country? Even with all his personality flaws, even with all the... Sometimes I call Trump the wife or the girlfriend in the dress. You're sitting there in the living room, and your wife or your girlfriend stands in the doorway and says, does this dress make me look fat? Well, we'll say that it does. Most husbands or boyfriends would say, well, I don't like the color on you, It doesn't match your hair, whatever. Trump would go, hell yeah, it makes you look fat. Go take it off. Now, here's the thing. The guy that talked to his girlfriend or wife nicely gets brownie points for lying. Trump, on the other hand, told the direct truth, and he's the jerk. And that is the reality of life. And that is a personality quirk that he has that's never going to go away. So you're just going to have to get used to it and work around it. I think his agenda and what he tried to do, America First agenda, is perfect for America, even before COVID, but 10 times more importantly now. And that's all you need to focus on. Yeah, he says some dumb things sometimes. He's not a seasoned, polished politician, but I got to tell you the truth, he's getting better. He's getting better. Being a high profile, you can't get much more high profile than the president, is a huge learning curve. And I think he's getting it. So with his gaffes and some of his personality quirks, just put it aside. When you're rushing to the emergency room to get surgery, do you ask if the surgeon's a good surgeon, or do you ask if the guy's a jerk? If you ask if the guy's a jerk, then you know what? You should die because you're an idiot. But if you worry about the person's skills as a surgeon, then you're on the right track. And that's the deal with Trump. Anyway, folks, enough of my ramblings. It's going to be anything. It's going to be a lot more fun than it would be normally. So I just want to leave this note. It shows a picture of Herschel Walker here with President Trump. He played for the New Jersey Generals, a football team in the old USFL days, for all the older people out there to remember. Herschel Walker used to watch Donald Trump's kids when they were small. So you know what? They go back a long ways. So we'll see how this partnership works out. Yes, Herschel Walker's got some skeletons in his closet. So does Trump. So do all of us. And if you don't have any skeletons in your closet, that means you haven't lived a very interesting life. I'm not condoning domestic violence, but we all do things we're not proud of, and we try to make up for them after they're done. It's called redemption. And until next time, folks, goodbye and good luck.